stop coming, and they don't 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 stop coming, and they don't.
This video was made with footage recorded during the open beta. Anything shown, talked shit about, bitched about, and or cried about is subject to potential change and may not reflect the true quality of the game upon full release.
I could tell you how Back 4 Blood makes you feel to play, but instead I'll just show you this image that I expertly crafted in Microsoft Paint, and you should get a pretty good idea. Back 4 Blood is a first-person shooter survival horror game, and if you don't believe me, Google would like to have a word with you. I'd show the gameplay trailer to describe the story since there were no cutscenes in-game really depicting it, but YouTube would have our collective asses for breakfast with copyright claims if I did that, so I'll just summarize it with some crude animations made with Microsoft Paint instead. Basically, some science guys found this really weird worm. One of the science guys that was studying the worm forgot to wear his proper PPE and the worm attacked. Turns out, when the worm gets you, you turn into a zombie and commence a zombie outbreak. So now, you play as a group of people called the Cleaners, and you just go around and kill all the zombies. Back 4 Blood features support for controller and mouse and keyboard. Here's a quick look at the menu settings for those of you who care. Slow down for a better look. You can commit mass zombicide with any of your friends regardless of the platform you play on, except this game isn't on Nintendo Switch, so fuck yourself, Shintaro Furukawa. Back 4 Blood features a cooperative campaign mode where you and up to 3 other friends or randoms can enjoy being gangbanged by zombies together.
So I'm gonna catch you and stomp your ass like you grown.
I'm gonna stomp your ass.
Or, if you want to be the only one on the receiving end of said gangbanging, you can turn the lobby to private and play with bots. There's also a 4v4 PvP mode where, similar to Left 4 Dead back in 2009, fuck, I'm getting old. Anyway, 4 players control the survivors, or as this game calls them, cleaners, and 4 players control special infected, which I'll go more into later. As the match progresses, the infected team earns currency to upgrade their stats. The objective of the survivors is to survive, and the objective of the infected, or ridden, is to kill. There are multiple rounds where teams alternate between playing infected and survivors. The team that survives longer as the survivors and wins more rounds, wins. Since this is an online game where you are most likely playing with the human equivalent to the food bits left in the strainer in your sink after doing dishes, you may encounter griefing in the form of friendly fire, people may not pick you up when you're down, and people may just ignore that you're at 1 HP while they're at full HP holding a medkit. So there is some potential for griefing, however I've only experienced 1 instance of this so far. But don't you worry, if somebody does decide to grief you, there's a communication system in this game via text chat and voice chat. So when your teammate decides to off you for no reason, you can really let them know how you feel.
Literally get off this game, right? Go buy a gun and fucking dome yourself.
The graphics of Back 4 Blood are nothing to sneeze at. You can enjoy colorful, vivid depictions of brutal violence, gore, creatures from the great chasms of hell itself, and did I mention gore? To be honest, I don't really know what the next step for video game graphics is or if it can get better. Although back in 1998, fuck I'm old, I thought this was the absolute pinnacle of video game graphics. The system requirements for Back 4 Blood is a 970 GTX, which ain't too advanced, so most PC gamers should be able to run this just fine. Now let's take a look at actual gameplay. You can shoot, you can crouch, you can throw explosives and shit, you can heal, you can give the zombie the old 1-2, you can turn the zombie's head into a puree with a bat, you can do parkour, and no FPS game would be complete without sprint. The game is very similar to Left 4 Dead. You start in safe room A, you kill everything that isn't alive, you get to safe room B and complete the chapter. You can get knocked down and your teammates have to revive you. Some special infected will knock you on the ground and you'll need your teammates to help you get up. There's also flocks of birds and shit that'll set off the horde, and if that happens, you'll probably live nevermore. Generally, what you'll be doing is mowing down hordes of zombies before they eat you like you're a Tide Pod in 2018. You can change the difficulty of the campaign mode between Survivor if you still wet the bed at night, Veteran if you don't feel like really trying but also don't want to glide through the game like 2 dolphins coated in Vaseline being rubbed together, and Nightmare if you're a masochist who drips hot wax on your own balls for fun. There's a plethora of different enemy types in Back 4 Blood. Firstly, you have the common infected. They're just regular-ass zombies. Alone, they're about as threatening as a latex glove, but in large packs they can fuck you up pretty good. Here's the 13 different types of special infected. Pause or slow down if you want to read what they do, and here's a few of them in action. The sleeper is pretty much a thing on the wall that looks like an anal prolapse. Get too close and it'll shit half a dude out on you that will pin you to the ground until you tell him who your daddy is. The stinger can shoot shit out its mouth to hurt people. The reeker explodes when it dies and covers you with a sticky pus that slows your movement. The crusher will throw a tantrum by smashing a big dumb fuck arm on the ground and dealing damage to anyone nearby. And finally we have the ogre, which is kinda like a boss fight. He even gets his own health bar. Oh, and if you thought you were safe hiding inside, you're wrong. You know what we call that? Unlucky. Back 4 Blood features an extremely wide variety of weapons. You got everything from a sawed-off shotgun, AKs, a Barrett 50 cal, to your standard grenades and Molotovs. Additionally, there's an assload of attachments you can put on each of your guns to change its performance. In each safe room before the level starts, you'll have the opportunity to pick out any random items that have spawned in, as well as purchasing them with copper from the Box of Wonders. Oh look, a knife. Now let's talk character customization. When each game starts, you're dealt your corruption cards, which are basically game modifiers and or side quests, which will affect your gameplay. You can customize your character with these other cards. You got shit like stabby stabby, runny runny, shooty shooty, healy healy, and a shitload of others. Pause or slow down if you want to see what they do. I don't know if I would call this a bug, but the only bullshit that happened to me was falling off this ledge. It's the way you're supposed to go, but maybe there's just bad ledge detection. The game is overall functional and is what it's advertised to be, a game where you shoot the shit out some zombies. However, one change I would make is to take a page out of Doom Eternal's book and make parts of Special Infected fall off or make them lose layers of skin in certain areas to indicate how much damage you're dealing. On higher difficulties, enemies get really bullet spongy, and having this visual would be more satisfying. It might soften the monotony of dumping clips into them. Shit like that would look pretty mint. Also, if you are gonna make enemies bullet sponges, just give me some damn ammo. I heard this way too much.
I'm out!
To recap, the game runs well, looks good graphically, and you don't need a crazy setup to play it. Character customization is good, story is basically non-existent. There's no plot in the game, you literally just go from place to place to kill zombies. There are no twists or character development, but in Left 4 Dead, which the game is supposed to be a spiritual successor to, there was none of that either, so I can reluctantly let that slide. These games were never meant to have deep stories or anything like that. They're literally just
I kill zombie. Boom, 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 boom.
On our patented 0 to 1 scale, we give this game a 0.71 out of 1. We are super close to the 4K watch hours we need to become YouTube partners, so if you could just like, share, and absolutely decimate that subscribe button, that would be more lit than a menorah on the 8th night of Hanukkah. I can say that I'm Jewish. Thanks for watching.